that's generally where I fall. Is a mixture of ladylike and girlish, just depending on who I'm around and how comfortable I am with them. And then we have womanly. This one, I just think, this is probably my favorite. I just think it's so beautiful. Today, well, let me introduce myself first. I am Mrs. Michelle, and today I'm going to be discussing some femininity tips coming from someone who I would like to say that I'm very feminine. And just because you're feminine doesn't mean you have to drop your masculine qualities. For example, something that's not really considered feminine is like snarkiness, and I'm very snarky, but I do it in a way where it is feminine, and I just kind of like let it sneak into interactions a little bit more than I make it my full like persona. So I'm just going to be discussing types of femininity and how you can gauge where you are and how you can choose where you want to be, how to get there, So I think there's a whole array of different ways to be a feminine woman. It's really unlimited, but I think the main ones are girliness, ladylike, womanly, and matronly. Now, I think the names are pretty self-explanatory, but I'm just going to go ahead and give you a bit of imagery for both because, and I love the birds chirping in the background. I don't know if you can hear it, but it just makes me feel like a Disney princess. Today, I'm not looking ultra feminine. Got kind of a masculine cut shirt. My hair is feminine. And I have some makeup, so, that's there. But besides that, I'm not looking very feminine. I just got done working out. I haven't worked out in so long. I was so out of breath, but I really miss running, so I'm getting back into it. Anyways, so girliness. Girliness is what you would think of a schoolgirl. Cute little skirts, immature girly colors, pink, bright pink, hot pink, lilac, just very immature but feminine. That's girlishness. Generally, they're a little bit more, it's like an excitable kind of energy. There's a lot of giggling, outgoing, kind of a more high-pitched, squeaky voice. Now, you don't have to fit this mold completely. It's just kind of like a meter where you can gauge where you are. And I have neighbors, so I really hope they're not watching me do this because that would be ultimately embarrassing. All right. Next, we have ladylikeness, which is the category that I fall more into. I'm a mix between ladylike and girlish. Ladylike is, think of like the high school girls in the 50s rom-coms. They're very like put together, hush hush. They keep personal details private. They don't show a lot. They cover a lot, and they're very polite and mannered and quiet. Generally talk softer, have a softer voice, that kind of thing. That's generally where I fall. Is a mixture of ladylike and girlish, just depending on who I'm around and how comfortable I am with them. And then we have womanly. This one, I just think, this is probably my favorite. I just think it's so beautiful. I just don't really have that natural persona to me. Womanly is like the maturity. This is where you would find like mothers, for example. It's just, when I picture womanly, I picture like curves. Womanly has a hint of sexuality to it. Womanly is like Jessica Rabbit, curves, the slit in the dress, but I'm going to go more into personality because obviously we can't be Jessica Rabbit. So womanly is just being comfortable in your maturity. Generally, you just kind of talk in it like a deeper tone. This is where snarkiness tends to lies in the womanly category. It's just, it's very in control and very, I just picture nature when I think of womanly. I picture like Eve, from Adam and Eve. I just picture beautiful nature, natural, womanly, very mature, almost like wine. I know my imagery is really weird, and for some people, you guys might not get it, and I apologize. If someone could please take my points and put them in the comments for, some way to better explain, that would be great. I'm just a very poetic person, so I tend to explain things very poetically, like she's like fine wine. What does that mean? But yeah, womanly is just a mature, they're generally not so much covered up, you get to see the curves more, and just because you're built more girliness, like girlish or more ladylike, doesn't mean you couldn't have a womanly air. It would probably be harder to pull off, but you could do it. It just part of that. Well, I'll get into that in a minute. And then matronly is exactly what it sounds. It's like when I think of matronly, I think of elderly, and I know this might be weird, but I think of Mary from Mary and Joseph, because there's just matronly is like motherly. It's like grandmotherly. It's like almost a reversion back into purity and wisdom, and simplicity, but like happiness. Like there's a happy air to it, like a grandma who wears like the flowered shirts. So that's what I think of when I think of matronly. Generally, you just kind of talk, and there's a lot of there's a lot of ease with the way you talk. You generally are very kind. This is just my descriptions. They may differ for other people, but now I'm going to get into how you can utilize this simple system to, first of all, distinguish what you would be and how you can move the meter to what you want to be. Now, let me just say that this system is not complete. This is just a simplified version. I could get into a million different types of feminine natures and how they act and how they look, and but this system is simplified into basically stages of life, because even if you want to appear older, you can move the way you present yourself to a different stage of life. For example, if I'm girlish, let's say I'm a schoolgirl, but I want to appear just a bit older without it being too extreme to where it's just jarring, I would start incorporating more ladylike things. And the same goes for if you want to appear younger. Let's say you're matronly, you're an older woman. If you want to appear younger, you'd move down more into the womanly category. So, and that doesn't mean you have to change your personality completely. You could just hide some mannerisms and exaggerate others. Like I do have mannerisms from different categories, but the ones I seem to use most are ladylike and girlish. Girlish, depending on who I'm around. So, distinguishing what you are. I want you to just stop. Go in your camera roll and look at what you wear the most. Now, if you didn't know yourself, what category would you put yourself in? Would you put yourself in girlish, ladylike, womanly, or matronly? This is just the easiest way to do it. Just look at a picture and think, what is she? All right, now that you got that, I want you to take out a notepad and write down a description of how you talk to people. Your voice. Do you talk soft? Do you talk high-pitched? Is your voice deeper? Or do you just are you more of a matter-of-fact? You just kind of sweet and matter-of-factly. Now, I had those in order based on where they would fit. So once you've got that and written down, circle whichever one you are. Now I want you to write down some phrases that you often say. Engage whether or not they fall into a polite category, a more immature category, immature, sorry, a more mature category, or just a kind category. And look, if anyone's offended by this stereotyping, I apologize, but that's the system. I have nothing against any of these different types of femininity. I think they're all beautiful and they all suit someone. So now that you've wrote down your most common phrases and you've made a score, I want you to add everything up, and that is going to be what you are on this scale. Now, if you're happy with that, good. Go ahead and exaggerate what you like. If you like that you're girlish, but you feel like you could be just a bit more girlish, why not being a little bit more bubbly? Why not wear brighter colors? Or even wear girlier patterns, frills, peplums, like just the world is out there. Yeah, there's some neighbors, they're leaning out of their door. I don't know if I should be quiet. They're not paying attention to me. All right. I don't know where I was going with that. Okay, so if you want to be more girlish, that's how you do that. If you want to be more ladylike, go for more simplified kind of outfits. Hold back what you want, what you're thinking, unless you feel like it is very important to say. One of the things that I feel makes me seem very ladylike is the fact I only speak when I feel what I have to say is very important. I'm often characterized as very kind and quiet, and therefore ladylike. Oh, and polite. Don't forget polite. Just because I hold back things that I feel aren't that important to say. Okay, now if you're more mature, or if you want to be more mature, why not focus on including more of your humor? Maturity, for some reason, a good joke just matches more with maturity. We associate immaturity with bad jokes. So focus more of your humor into your persona if you want to be considered more mature. Don't overdo politeness. Just be a little bit more straightforward. And as for what you wear, sorry, my neighbors have dogs. They're coming out again. Okay. This is embarrassing. My neighbors are actually my in-laws. So it's double embarrassing to be caught videoing out here, but I'm sure they don't want me watching them take out their trash either, so we're gonna both pretend we don't see each other. Anyways, for maturity, go for prints that exaggerate your body shape. And that even goes for someone who has very little to work with. I don't mean that in an insulting way. I just mean you don't have a lot of curves. I'm one of them ladies. You can always create the illusion. Let's say you don't have a big bust. You don't have a big bum, but you do have some very nice hips. What you would do is you would find a dress that would bring your shoulders out more, make your shoulders look wider, and accentuate your hips. And that would create the illusion of an hourglass. And it's even better if you find a way to incorporate a little sexuality. And I really don't mean this in a bad way. You don't want to overdo it. But let's say you had a little slit on the leg and some heels. Heels do wonders for curving up your shape. When you wear heels, it just adds a curve to your legs. That kind of thing would make you seem a lot more womanly. And I can go into more detail in another video if you guys would like that. All right, now for matronly. Let's say you feel like you're at that point where you just want to appear more matronly and you feel like you're not doing it right. This one you would want to go for more simplistic kind of. I know I already said simplistic, but it's like matronly is like a mix between mature and ladylike. So you're going to take clothes that shout to you that I'm a put together woman, not I'm a put together girl. That's essentially what ladylike is. I'm a put together girl. And then matronly is I'm a put together woman. So you're going to take clothes that just speak that to you. Generally that consists of blouses and nice trousers with some kind of sandals. And they don't have to be, when it comes to this, you really don't have to worry about the clothes being too loud because they're so sophisticated themselves. The cuts, you really with cuts, you do want to try to accentuate parts of your body that you find charming, especially when you get to this age. People tend to feel more insecure about their body. So, for example, if you're insecure about your arms, like the upper part of your arms, find something that covers that, but maybe ends right here so you can still feel like you have enough skin showing and you're not hiding yourself too much. As for your personality wise, well, you just channel your inner sweetheart, you know what I mean? You just be sweet and put together. And I don't really know how else to describe it, but I hope you guys like this video, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of rundown what's on my channel. I am a housewife as of now. I will be going to school to become a radiologic technician, or is it technologist? I always forget. But until I become one of those, you're going to be getting a ton of housewifery. So that consists of crafts, cleaning, makeup, beauty, you name it, I have it. Just an array of girly stuff, array of femininity. So if that is your cup of tea, I really recommend that you go down there and you subscribe if you haven't already. And because you subscribed, and I'm sure you're one of my first subscribers, why don't you just ring the celebratory bell just so we can all hear it and celebrate? And then I would suggest liking this video so I know what you like. And please leave your input down below. That would be really good and helpful for me. Maybe suggest some videos you want to see. Like I said, I'm very crafty. I love to paint. I'm actually in the process of making a dollhouse. I've been doing some home DIYs. I like to sew. I'm not the best sewer. Cooking, yes, love cooking. So any of that, oh, I will be cleaning. I might even post videos doing my schoolwork. It's just whatever you want to see, it might be out there. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching.